So we may have Jake Paul's MMA debut opponent. So apparently there is preliminary talks for Jake Paul to fight Matt Riddle. I didn't mean to make that all dramatic there. But yeah, apparently there's actually talks for this to happen, according to the Wrestling Observer, I believe, which is pretty reputable. I think when it comes to like wrestlers, Matt Riddle did come from WWE, so obviously he would have some knowledge of the situation. So this is what he said. The YouTube boxer is currently in preliminary talks for his next fight after disposing of former UFC welterweight Nate Diaz back in August. As of this writing, one of the more intriguing names to enter the problem child lottery is Matt Riddle. Now, it's not known if this is for boxing or for MMA. I would lean towards MMA. Like, I don't think there would be a draw in Jake Paul versus Matt Riddle in boxing. For like MMA, it would be a sort of a draw. But who knows? It would be a much easier fight for Jake Paul if this was a boxing match. But yeah, generally very interesting. If it is MMA, Matt Riddle hasn't fought in MMA since 2014, so 9 years ago, against Michael Cooper. But he's only been TKO'd once against Nick Osip Kazak, who was that guy who was on The Ultimate Fighter, the Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping season. He was actually a pretty good fighter. I think he got robbed in one of his fights and then just went on a downward spiral. Like, he had a lot of split decisions. Like, he was a really good guy. Like, he was a good fighter. But still, regardless, this would actually be a generally very interesting fight because who knows how much Matt Riddle's been training since he went to like pro wrestling. Like I doubt he was training mixed martial arts that whole time, training his grappling, his striking, and everything. So he could be really, really washed up by the time this happens. He is a black belt. Where it says he was promoted to black belt by Daniel Gracie and David Florida on January 28, 2022. So, okay, I guess he is been training, at least his jiu-jitsu. So that would make it a bit more interesting if this is an MMA fight. Oh, I shouldn't even hold my breath, though. There's a very good chance this is going to be fucking Matt Riddle with Jake Paul in a boxing match, if we're being honest. Like, this might be a step too far for Jake Paul, especially if for his MMA debut. We haven't seen what his takedown defense is like, any of that sort of stuff. But it would be interesting. It would be an interesting build-up. Yeah, wait, here's another article I found. Jake Paul versus Matt Riddle. Negotiations are expected to start soon. Before now, it appears that he had. Okay, so it may be boxing. I don't know. But if it's boxing, it's like an easy, safe fight. Doing it. If it's MMA, it would be younger and has been fighting while Riddle hasn't, and the size isn't an issue like it was with the boxing guy. But Riddle has kept up his jiu-jitsu training throughout the WWE career. There are wrestling companies who have shown interest, but no deal is believed to be close to happening, nor could any until the 12th or the 20th. So yeah, be interesting to see what this is. But Jake Paul's, if this is boxing, Jake Paul is definitely gonna get so much shit for fighting another fucking MMA guy, especially a former WWE guy in a boxing match. Like, Jake Paul does not win here if it is a boxing match. That's why I lean towards this being MMA. Because if it is boxing, nobody is going to give an absolute shit about this fight. Like, there will be no hype. Nobody will pick Matt Riddle to beat Jake Paul in a boxing match. Like, this is a step down. This would be his easiest fight, I'd say, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. This is weird. Like, this is so unexpected. Out of all the things I would have expected, this was not close to them all. I was thinking maybe it's Uriah Hall versus Jake Paul, not Matt Riddle. I thought his days of fucking combat sports was over. But I do remember my most like biggest memory of Matt Riddle is like that fight where he was literally just swinging like a madman and not landing any strikes. So for his sake, I hope this isn't a boxing match because I think he would get fucking absolutely flatlined by Jake Paul in a pure boxing match. But MMA, you'd have to favor him surely, like with the grappling experience and everything, him being a grappler. But it'd be interesting to see, honestly. But yeah, I guess we got to wait and see what happens. I'm hoping this is MMA just because Jake Paul. Nobody's gonna give a shit about you as Matt Riddle in a boxing match. Maybe some pro wrestling fans will. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I don't think it draws like these other fights will. I don't think there's too much interest. The build up would be really weird though. I wonder if Matt Riddle would talk trash. But also a weird thing, if Jake Paul wins, he can technically say he beat a guy who beat John Jones because Matt Riddle did beat John Jones in high school wrestling. I know it's not the biggest deal, but it is something he could brag about, knowing how he is. And that'll probably be something he uses in the build up. This guy beat John Jones in wrestling, and now I'm going to fight him and I'm going to beat him, yada yada. But anyway, if you made it this far into the video, make sure you give it a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, how you would have a Jake Paul, Matt Riddle matchup going, if is boxing or if it's MMA. Let me know your thoughts on the potential matchup. And if you're not already, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.